But stories of a different nature. 3D stories. 3D pictures. Do you think they have a future?
Of course they do. The only thing that'll stop them having a future is if no filmmakers get the ambition to break out of the sort of the genre ghetto that they're in. At the moment it seems to be it's horror films, concert films, and these sort of CG family movies, Pixar, DreamWorks things that are being made in 3D. Whereas, where's the Mike Nichols films in 3D? Where are they?
Yeah.
Well, well, Steven Soderbergh is going to make a film in 3D. That's kind of it's close to that, I suppose.
I can see that.
Well, yeah,
Do you think we could have
so
a dimensionalization of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think it would benefit it because it's quite a claustrophobic environment when they're in that room. It expands at times. There's a scene out by the tree and you could get the sense of emptiness and so on in there. And it's not that the film was failing and it needs some sort of leg up, but but I suppose the argument really in a sense is dimensionalisation similar to colorisation?
Right.
And I'd say it is really, and I'd say let two-dimensional films be two-dimensional films and let's just make 3D films going on outwards from here. I mean, it's like, you're going back over silent films and sort of CGing lip movements in and giving them dialogue or something. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. Colorising films doesn't make any sense. But
you didn't have a problem with the 3D version of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Because it was actually executed by the people who made the film. I mean, it was a choice of the creative people who made the film, and in a sense that makes it comparable to something like George Lucas's Star Wars revamps or whatever. It becomes this sort of secondary version, and they never took away the first version of Nightmare Before Christmas, and I think that's important.
Well, let me ask this:
okay.
Do you think Kubrick would have been as excited about 3D as Cameron?
I think he would. I mean, if you go see...
Would he have finished a 3D film?
If you go see Barry Lyndon,
Yeah.
I don't think he would have made Barry Lyndon in 3D because the whole thing is based on paintings in two-dimensional image styles, and it's why he uses these long zooms to sort of flatten everything to make you think everything's a flat painting. It's a very strange piece of artifice. It's a contrivance that doesn't really work. I mean, I love the film, but there's this sort of strange contrivance at the heart of it, which is weird. So I don't think he would have made that film in 3D. 2001, yes, almost definitely. I mean, if you imagine the Stargate sequence there, manipulating space in the way they manipulate colour and sound, he would have been really excited by these possibilities.
Okay, thank you, Professor.
Okay.
Mr. Know-It-All. But back to the 3D films and the Venice Film Festival's 3D Film Prize.
Yeah.
Who's going to win?
Well, it's disappointing because it's not... There aren't sufficient films in the festival for it to just be films from the festival, so it's going to be for films from the last 12 months. And if you look at the films that are in contention, at least I'd say 5 of them are sort of turkeys, really.
That's very generous of you.
Because of this whole problem where schlock horror is getting a lot of 3D produced. But I would have thought Coraline will probably win. Joe Dante's The Hole is actually in the Venice Festival. Of course, I've not seen it. It may be better, but Coraline was such a leap forward in the language of 3D that it deserves every sort of applaud it can get. And I'd be very surprised if it doesn't win, to be honest.
Yeah, they certainly get an A for effort anyway.
Yeah, I mean they worked hard, didn't they? But it's also the film where people say, oh, it's the first 3D film I saw where it wasn't just a gimmick, it was part of the artistic expression. It's like, well, for better or for worse, gimmicks are part of artistic expression. But I understand what people are saying, but I think that's just a bandwagon that people jumped on. It just happened to be true.
Okay. I've been thinking about the film Sin Nombre.
Whether that should have been in 3D or...
No, it felt like it was in 3D. I was certainly shaken up by it. And I'm only mentioning it because I want people to see it.
Well, it's just coming out in the UK, and Revolver are putting it out, and I like them because they take risks, and I like to support them even when what they're putting out is mediocre. Even though the last film we saw from Revolver, Diagnosis Death, was the opposite. I mean, it just wasn't. We don't want to support that one in the same way. But yeah, Sin Nombre is.
We don't, or you don't.
Rachel, you asked me to turn it off. You asked me to
Right.
stop the screener disc. Let's be honest.
Okay.
I mean, that's not unusual. I mean, I watched lots of things through to the finish that you only see part way. But Sin Nombre, yeah, I mean, I hope people go and see it, but I think they're going to go and see it. I think people will turn out.
You think more than just like, the gangs in LA are going to go see it? Or
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
kids in
I
South
think,
London or something.
well, look, we saw a cinema in North Oxford where it's full of middle class people, and they all seemed to absolutely love it, didn't they?
Yeah, I
You know,
did.
with their tickets that they got free with The Guardian or whatever.
I may not be middle class, but I've got the blue hair.
No. But they were all talking very positively about it on the way out. I love eavesdropping on people who walk out the cinema.
Wow.
Sometimes they say really dumb things and sometimes they say really smart things.
Does the director have another gig already?
I have no idea. If he does, it's not public.
Okay.
But it's...
Wait, we've got to wrap
ambitious
up, but I
film.
want to ask you, if you could ask Terry Gilliam one question, what would you ask?
I ask him why he doesn't make more films. Why does he always hang on for films that are going to be a fight? He's surrounded by people telling him to make more movies, and he's not doing it.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. And that's it.
It's more of an order, Terry, less of a question. It's more of an order, Terry, less of a question.
Okay. See? I married a film freak.